That evening, back in Paris. Have a seat, Nicole. Oh, I've got a message. Attacked by a dragon. That's not so good. Let's have a look at the messages.
I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
3.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV column. Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office. In fact, drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Nico. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Oh
Hey,
dear.
Nico, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. See you tomorrow, Nico. Slonsha. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Emelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening. He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly.
Oh no, she's
I shall
gonna die.
let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
Merlin? Oh my God. Merlin's the killer. I'd better get over there and warn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Emelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing. But I couldn't just let her die.
Right, phone calls.
I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here.
She's definitely gonna. Yeah, she's definitely gonna die, Rach. I could climb up that. Let's try the door first. Because, you know, if I do everything and then do the door last, and the door was the easy one. Nope, nothing there.
Locked? No way was I going to break through a door like that.
Try the
intercom
doorbell.
system wasn't working. Bad sign.
Oh, convenient.
Somebody had cut the wire.
Oh dear. Maybe. Rachel can't remember much of what she
Fixed
says
height.
because she was so young.
Presumably to stop critics stealing it. Who else would want to?
If I get anything to get rid of, can I loosen it? Not really.
Fixed tight. Presumably to...
Okay, let's have a look at the
Just your
fittings.
average modern art retaining wire.
Oh,
I unhooked the first wire.
see, Rach doesn't remember. I think this is one of the reasons why she's so excited to watch
I
it
released the
again.
second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright.
Nah, Kirby grip. We just unloosed it with our hands.
If I could
Voila,
deconstruct this, I could
a ladder.
deconstruct anything.
Almost like it was perfectly shaped.
The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it.
More than my hands. Let's try the Kirby grip now.
No.
No. Okay. What about the elephant? It's got sharp tusks.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hmm.
No.
What could I
no.
use? Also, can those pictures be combined?
No.
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 I'll just try everything.
No.
Aha! That bullet. Right, that should get me into it. Right, nothing's changed in here. Let's go out the room. Please don't be already dead.
My God, I'm too late.
It's a funny angle to sit at though.
Emelda. Oh no.
Nico?
Don't worry, you're going to be alright.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. How absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Nico.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Emelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
Oh
You
no.
didn't know my father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
Oh, don't die.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why? Even in death, Emelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace.
She looks a lot younger there.
I opened it.
A key.
Inside was a tiny gold key. I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
Let's leave before the police get here. Oh wait. Tiny golden key. Excuse me. We have an elephant box that has a tiny golden keyhole.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's.
Tiny golden key.
I took out the key. I couldn't believe it. Emelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside.
Ah. There's a picture.
It was a photograph of Emelda. But why here? In my father's box.
They're all linked.
I felt as if a black hole had swallowed me up. Emelda and Carchon grinning. While behind them a village was being razed to the ground. Its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father.
Scandal.
There was a letter. I feared there was even worse to come.
Let's read the letter.
Hotel St. George, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you are really working for, or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No. They'll just give you a phony job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Emelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all.
Well, that's a relief. I thought I was going to be one of the bad guys.
He and Emelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
Well then. Oh, poor Nico. The next morning.
I knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then... Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Oh
Did
dear.
he snore?
Hardly. He was dead,
And
Ugh.
you say Pigram has disappeared?
without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Hey, I want to ask, how did he sneak that past
Gram's
customs?
The Templar's gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Good idea.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod.
But we know what the tripod is. Do I have to go through it all? Okay.
There's a guy working on a loom.
Guy in a
A
loom.
knight with a crystal ball. The Knight Scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
Look there, 2 guys on the same horse. What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what,
Well, that
or
was abrupt.
where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. Do you want to look after the gem?
No, George. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
At least she's honest.
Look, Nico, a handful of plaster.
Yeah. Why is it that men never really grow up?
What's your problem, sister?
Your pockets stuffed with useless junk like little boys.
You never know when useless junk might come in handy.
Yeah, well. Right, okay.
Do you want this photograph back?
No, you keep it. I can always make another print.
Okay.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobineau at the Kron Museum.
That's right,
And
we're going to the
why
museum.
don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Yeah, you do have a house full.
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's
One day
connection
you
to
can.
Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
Yeah, well. Right, let's go to the museum.
Pardon me?
Oui, monsieur?
Is Carchon about?
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start
well.
over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think? If I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history.
At
Doubt
your
it.
age? Dream on.
Oh, you could at least pretend it.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Was
Don't
it?
you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
Hmm.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar, not like Monsieur Lobineau.
Is Lobino about?
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
An alarm.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Hmm.
Thanks for your help.
Okay, let him walk about a bit. So he's not here, the guy we need to get. So now we need to come over here. Because I think I remember this from before. While he's doing the window, we sneak in here.
This is ridiculous. I could be here for hours.
Maybe not. Maybe I've got the wrong bit.
Watch out! You'll have that done on top of us!
Hmm.
No, monsieur. No, et no.
Okay. The case contained the tripod shown on the manuscript.
So, can I show you the gem?
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
I found this gem at a medieval site in Ireland.
That means nothing to me, monsieur.
How did you manage to get this job?
That's a good question.
The right qualifications, a military manner, squeaky shoes, and an irrational hatred of children.
Was that a necessity, that bit?
Thanks for your help.
Okay. So he wasn't there. Let's try back here.
Sergeant Moo?
Yes.
I was one of the last people to see the victim alive, Sergeant.
Does that worry you?
Yes, it does. I feel I owe it to him to find his killer.
That is best left to the authorities, monsieur. Did he speak to you? Tell you anything?
No, he just grinned and nodded.
Don't let it trouble you, monsieur. Go home and try to forget.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
This happened
I
before we
see.
went to Ireland.
And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Oh.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic. In the Avenue des Hérissons.
It's not very good if the guy we're looking for is in hospital.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
He ruined their lawns.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur.
He also calls himself Thomas Merlin.
I'm sorry, Monsieur Stobart. I don't know him.
He's getting grumpy with me.
Any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes.
A lot.
I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur.
It's the guy who bombed the cafe. The clown.
This man looks nothing like a clown.
Well, it was
He's
a
taken off his
costume.
grease paint and costume.
Then there is nothing to link this man with the killing.
Nothing? Look at those murderous
There is.
eyes.
We found it.
Hardly likely to get him convicted.
I know the identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantar.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm
Oh, dear.
trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Maybe not a good idea. What about this?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you, Sergeant?
That's a double-line Swedish with a crosshatch Bergman strike strip. Now,
Oh.
that's unusual. Pre-war Anderson hinging.
Really?
I haven't seen a reinforced Anderson outside of a private collection.
It's rare then?
In this part of the world, yes. There are only 3 places these are made. Taiwan, Manila, and Slough.
Oh.
I found this red nose in the sewer.
What were you doing down there?
Fishing for clues. That's where the clown went.
You still insist you saw a clown, monsieur?
Of
Yes.
course. And this novelty nose proves it.
It will take more than a plastic proboscis to convince Inspector Rousseau.
You don't want this
What
as
about the
evidence.
tissue then?
Certainly not, monsieur.
What about this?
Do you recognize this dirty tissue?
No, monsieur, I do not.
I found it in the sewer.
Perhaps it would be better if you put it back there.
No
That
way.
is grease
This
paint.
could be an important clue.
If you
It was
say
a wee
so,
bit
monsieur.
random. Right. Do I want to give him this?
What do you suppose this tool is used for, Sergeant Moo?
It looks like something an obstetrician would use, monsieur.
An
It was with
obstetrician.
tools like this that the clown made his escape.
I don't understand.
He opened up the hole and disappeared into the bowels of the earth.
If you say so, monsieur.
See you later,
Okay.
Sergeant.
It was just some police paperwork, a search warrant.
Okay. Let's try the phones. Maybe? Apparently I'm not getting the phone.